Hello once again, watchers of good anime and movies. My name is Nick Pell and this is my review of Rascal Does Not Dream of a Dreaming Girl. Now this is the anime sequel film to my favorite anime from last year, Rascal Does Not Dream, a bunny girl senpai. It's anime which I've called a masterpiece before and I still probably hold up to that. This is a continuation of that anime story, so it pretty much dives right into that story from the get-go. It doesn't really give you any sort of backstory, it doesn't really set up what's happened in the previous 12 episodes prior to this. It just kind of dives right into this plot, assuming that you know everything. And so, if you have not seen the anime, you might be a little lost, I'm not going to lie, because they throw out terms and stuff which has been dealt with throughout the course of the show. And so I would definitely say check out the anime on Crunchyroll or wherever it's available before seeing this if possible, because I think you'll be a lot more informed and enjoy the film a lot more as a result. Now my favorite part about the show and about this film in particular is Sakuta and Mai's relationship, because they are such a good couple. They are you can tell that they have deep feelings for one another and they care desperately about each other, but they are able to also not be codependent on each other. They're able to kind of stand on their own feet, live their own lives, but also come together and support one another. It's a very healthy relationship from what I can tell. And it's enjoyable to see that relationship continue to prosper so successfully on screen. In the film, however, there is a third element thrown in to kind of fluster that relationship, and that's with Shoko, who was introduced in the anime, but essentially we learn throughout the course of this film that her puberty syndrome, or adolescence syndrome, whatever you want to call it, is that there's basically three versions of her, I believe, in existence due to time travel things. One version of her which is in like 4th grade, one in middle school, and then one in college. And so we get to see her interact with Sakata throughout these three stages of her life. And you basically learn kind of the secrets behind her. You also get to learn kind of the origins of Sakata's scar, which is on his chest, which to my knowledge was never really explored throughout the course of the show. And the whole film is basically just a 3-episode arc crammed into one 90-minute long movie. So it doesn't really feel rushed or short in any real extent, because it is essentially the same length as what the show would have been, if not like a little bit longer, to add in a little extra features. And so I thought that worked really well in that capacity, and it's based on, I believe, the 6th and 7th volumes of the light novel series that the show is based on, and so it's just a natural continuation. It works really well, it's very fluid, and it's really good story-wise in that aspect. There are some time travel confusing elements, I thought, at least towards the beginning, and kind of figuring out what all the versions of Shoko are, or where they are, and how all this stuff kind of happens. And it's explained throughout the course of the film as they're trying to investigate that actual theory and problem. But it can be a little bit confusing to follow right at the beginning. So I kind of wish that they would have made that a little bit clearer or easier. That's just a small thing. Maybe everyone else followed it perfectly well, but for me it was a little bit tough to follow at first. The animation, as far as I'm aware, was done by the same studio which worked on the anime. It also looks fantastic, especially on the big screen. You can tell, kind of like with Sound Euphonium earlier this year and with Tiny the Evil, they kind of up the animation quality for these feature films because they're going to be on the big screen. It's a lot more noticeable, there's a lot more details, and it looks really, really good. The style is the same as what it was in the anime, and it just looks fantastic. The music is also used very well and very effectively, with both funny moments and also with very emotional moments. I teared up quite a lot in this movie, and so there are some very emotional things which happen, which I will not spoil here in case you are going to go see it tomorrow. So yeah, know that. And the last thing overall that I really enjoyed seeing was kind of the odes to that first arc between Sakuta and Mai, which opened the anime, because that's easily my favorite part of the show, because when I first watched that, I felt like that whole 90-minute arc could have been its own film and won many awards because of how good it was. And so this This film makes a lot of odes to that, a lot of callbacks, but done in kind of changed scenarios. And so I liked seeing those callbacks in things which kind of reference the previous season of the anime. I did think that the ending, like the last 10 minutes or so, did kind of border on cheesy to an extent. It didn't quite get there, but it was very close to getting there. And it does kind of, you have to kind of suspend your disbelief with kind of how it ends with certain aspects. I won't obviously spoil it here, but it wasn't the perfect ending that I was hoping for. I think it could have ended like 10 minutes prior and it would have been fine. Yeah. It's a very small nitpick, but it was something which kind of bugged me just by the end. But overall, guys, Rascal Does Not Dream of a German Girl. It's really, really, really good. If you have seen the anime and you're as big a fan of it as I am, if not like a little more or a little less, you're probably going to really enjoy this anime film as well. I highly recommend checking it out. It's a very faithful adaptation and a faithful sequel to the anime, and I highly recommend checking it out if you have the opportunity. Those are my thoughts, though, on Rascal Does Not Dream of a Dreaming Girl. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. What's been your favorite anime film of this current year? This is probably my favorite, with Promare right after that. But I don't know what'll happen. I'm still going to be seeing Konosuba in about a month, so that could upend the whole thing. But yeah, what's your favorite film that's come out this year that's aired in the US that you've seen? I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe once again if you so choose. I appreciate it immensely. And as always, my people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on watching.